Hello, everybody. Sean Zine, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is live number 15 on the year, and I am happy to continue to share lots of nuggets of information to help you grow your business, and besides even business, grow you personally, with your health, your mind, and family, etc. But we're always trying to drop major value for you every single day. And it's 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So please stay with us the entire time, because I know you're going to get major value from my guest today, especially Fred Posimo. I'm going to bring him on. There he is.
What's going on, people?
Man?
I'm trying to keep up with all these Facebook Lives you got going on, Sean. I got you on this screen. I got you on this screen. There we go. I can't work my camera.
We got to multitask. That's what we got to do.
And everything's mirrored. So left is right and right is left now.
Yes, that's the one thing you got to be careful of. Yeah, on a traditional live, if you go through Facebook, there's actually things on the bottom that you can hit, so you can actually flip it, so you can read what's on things. If you don't, it'll be flipped. Some people figure that out, some people not.
See, yes. Well, you're a Facebook Live professional, so I defer everything to you.
I've been I enjoy this. This is how everyone should be conducting business, because who doesn't have 15, 20, go half hour? My wife's like, yeah, you're going down in the basement. You're going to do, an hour. You'll come up. I'm like, okay, you're right. But it's just, I like and I enjoy sharing value. And the guests that come on are for a reason. I know the value that they bring, and them hearing from other people, that's another benefit as well.
Definitely. I feel similar myself. I've learned a lot of stuff in the past half decade or so. I've spent a lot of time working on myself, and everything new that I learn, I feel the need to just share it with everybody else. And you see, I've grown my Facebook page in a lot of different ways, and I'm trying to catch up to you, man.
I like talk about YouTube. I like how you have those the cover pages. I don't even do that. Like, that's my little thumbnails. I haven't figured that out. I've just been doing tons of content, tons of videos, and just throwing them up there. But I think in the next couple of weeks, since we're stuck in hibernation mode, it's something to play around with. So I would love to pick your brain another time about how to create those thumbnails for sure.
It's not me. It's the guy I hired. So it's actually funny. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel since I was about 19 years old, but I can't stand video editing or filming or any of that stuff. I love being in front of the camera. I love speaking to audiences. I'm very good at improvising, but everything on the back end, I could not stand at all. And so I finally found someone earlier this year, actually end of 2019, and he just was the perfect fit. He's a photographer. He's a videographer. He caught the vision with me, and we just been in this thing together, and it's been rocking. I've been loving it.
You said some really awesome things as far as sharing the vision.
Yes.
If they understand what your goals are, the beauty comes out.
Yeah, that's the biggest key, really. They could be the greatest videographer in the world, but if they're not entrepreneurial and business oriented and can't pick up on the same vibe that you're putting down, the whole thing blows up. Because I've gone through multiple different people who I tried to have fill this role, and until I found him, it was just something that never really kicked on and worked. And he's really got a knack for nailing the mood and the theme of what it is we're trying to accomplish.
That's for sure. I'm playing around. We have some people jumping on right now, and we didn't even get into an introduction, man. We've just been rocking and rolling. So
I know, who are we? Let's talk about us.
Who the heck is Fred Posimo? Can you give us a little 30-second, 6-hour kind of intro of what you are all about?
So what's funny, in the last quarter or so of 2019, I kind of started rebranding and rebuilding myself. One of the things I did was started a YouTube channel, and I started, looking at my business and restructuring the way I wanted to do it. So since then, I've always had trouble coming up with a title for myself. It's like, I'm an investor, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a YouTuber, I got all these titles, and I'm like, what the heck am I? And earlier, probably like the last month of 2019, I came up with a slogan, if you will, or a tagline, and that's make money and have fun. And I felt like that had capsulized everything that I do. I teach people two things, and I do two things on a daily basis. I make money and I have fun. And in my opinion, that really is the pinnacle of humanity. That is success if we look at it. If you can align both of those things, you got it going, right? I have a lot of friends that are hippies, if you will, quote unquote, and they're the nicest, most peaceful, most fun-loving people in the world, but most of them have no money. And living in a capitalistic society, as unfortunate as it might appear, we need money to create sustainability in our lives. And then I have other people, like my brother-in-law is the perfect example, who have a job that's paying them over $100,000 a year, and they're absolutely miserable. So typically we find one to two ends of the spectrum, but when we can align both, that's it, game over. You just have full passion at that point, and you're going through doing whatever it takes. And so that's what I do. I teach people how to make money and how to have more fun in life.
Yeah, having that passion only comes out if you figure out what exactly you want to do, and you're doing things. Some people have that 9 to 5, and they're not very happy. You could tell
Sure.
their production is going to be lower, but once you figure out what exactly you like
Yep.
doing, shit, the sky's the limit, man. I feel passionate. I hear it in your voice too
Yeah,
about what we do every single day because we're all about helping others. That's a
exactly.
huge thing in our
Exactly.
lives.
That's the other thing too, is it's all service.
Mm.
I have a calendar. So if you go to talkwithfred.com, you can actually schedule a call with me. And on there, it says one of the questions I ask is, how can I best serve you during this call? And, like we were talking about earlier, it's everything that I accumulate. I want to give it back to the world.
That's important. And for those that are on right now, and we have shout out, we saw Bill earlier, Doug, we have Chris Taylor, Tara, what's
What's
going
up,
on?
Chris?
Jason Goldberg, thanks so much for sharing and being here with us. Please drop a comment in below if we know you're alive. Where are you watching from? If you have a business, if you have something that you're wanting to promote, please use this time. Also, please hit that share button, hit that wow button. Don't just go to lives and go to other people's posts and just hit that love and like button. It doesn't help anything. We want to have engagement. If you have questions for us, drop a comment. If you have something funny to say, drop it in the comment as well, because we are all about adding value. And that's why you're here with us, because we want to share that kind of information out to our audiences. So if we're here, you're here, and we got nothing else better to do, right? We're all stuck at home.
Yeah. I mean, I went into the office today to make some phone calls, so I'd rather be talking to you though, Sean.
Right. This is a lot better. We can't have those, shaking hands kind of opportunities right now for probably a little bit more
Sure.
time.
Right now it's the elbow bump.
The elbow, or it's the fist bump or whatever, or even the ankle. But it's important that we're constantly socializing. And
Sure.
I'm using StreamYard. I have others that are, and I'm involved with Zoom calls as well.
Exactly.
Those are wonderful too, because you can be all these little boxes. Some people say, "Oh, you're the Brady Bunch," when they come on. That's how it looks like on your screen. But it's awesome. Funny. You get to be around other people. You're talking. You're collaborating, and you're learning. Every time I have conversations with you or any of my guests, I learn constantly, because that's
the biggest thing.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all just opportunity. And I tell people there's 3 steps to opportunity. The first one is what you really excel at, Sean, which is putting yourself in environments where the types of opportunities that you might be looking for are abundant. And that's what most people miss. Most people just think, "Oh, I got to take action on an opportunity when I see it." Well, no, first change your environment, because your environment is always stronger than your willpower. You could will yourself till you're blue in the face, but until your environment changes, nothing else is going to change at that point, right? And putting yourself in these environments where you're jumping on calls, you're jumping on Zooms, and you're interacting. Either if it's face to face when all this nonsense blows over, or if it's through social media, you get to dictate now your environment. And at that point, the opportunities are abundant. And then when you see them, then you take action on them.
100%. And you said it before, and you're involved with a lot of things just like I am.
Sure.
But it's our brand. You are re-energized. You are creating something because people buy from us. They don't buy from the company. And that's I want to keep drilling into those that are watching. It's important to continue doing that, because I don't care who you work for. That company's not going to give you a paycheck, because they like you. You have to be out there hustling on the front lines,
Yeah,
making things happen.
exactly. You know, yeah, definitely. I love that. People definitely buy from you, and I think that your brand really is kind of like the underlying foundation of everything else that you do. At least
Hmm.
that's kind of the way that I've built up myself. I kind of rebranded my Facebook page. What's going on, Charlie? How are you?
What's going on, Charlie?
Recently, and I just build everything else off of that. It's like my belief is that everybody on this planet has the same exact goal, and that goal is to make each day better than their last. I think that if we trickle it down and look at it on a very granular level, that's really what everybody's after. And that's been my pursuit for the better part of a decade now, is just growing myself on a daily basis and becoming better than I was before. And each day I'm chunking things away. I got a website that's up now and people are raving about that, and all kinds of cool stuff. I've got the YouTube channel going on, which is going to be hopefully the next big business venture. We'll see what it kind of
Hmm.
morphs into. But if you're able to adapt and you're able to grow every day, I think that you really have a personal brand already. You just got to kind of build an infrastructure around that now.
Right. And that's what people are missing sometimes. But
Sure.
there's more people jumping on, and we appreciate you all. Like, we got Jennifer, Anna, Tony Ann. We saw Charlie. Vinny, what's going on?
What's
If
up,
you
folks?
guys, please hashtag live if you're watching us now. We love comments. And also drop if you have a business, a website, if you have a cell phone. Use this time to collaborate and connect with other individuals. And don't forget to hit that share button. We'd love to see a bunch of you hitting that share button, because we're going to help your friends too grow their business, grow themselves. I don't know if many people know this about Fred. He writes books, man. And I've been thinking about doing it. And I know you wrote a
Sure.
few already.
Yep.
What allowed you to do it? What allowed you to get started that first book?
Well, the first thing is you have to have something to say. That I think is the biggest thing. So when I wrote my first book, it was a very arduous process. So my first book, I wrote every single word you see in there. I literally typed it out on Microsoft Word, and if you know me, I'm very tech illiterate. I'm the worst millennial there is. I got paper and pen right here. Yeah, that's my life. So it was a very tedious process for me, but I was so passionate about what I wanted to say that like I would literally write some of the chapters in 45 minutes to an hour, just because I wanted to get this out to the world. And once you have that, there's a lot of ways you can go about it. If you're a little bit more well off, you can hire a ghostwriter and do it that way. You can do. There's a lot of speak to text kind of softwares out there now and things like that. But once you have the content, you just kind of put it all together and give it away to the world is kind of my way of looking at it. My first book, when I wrote it, I had two reasons for doing it. One, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And two was I felt like I had something to say and I wanted to share this with everybody else. And honestly, at this point, I've given away more books than I sold, and I make, I don't know, $1.50 for every book that I sell. So it's not like a legitimate business, but it's something that I enjoyed doing. And for years, what I actually did was I started blogging, because right after I wrote my book, I was like, you know what? I'm never writing again. This was terrible. Everything hurts. And I woke up the next morning and the only thing I wanted to do was write. And I'm like, you know what? How can I get my message out to people much faster without them having to wait a year and a half for the next book to come out? And I realized that blogging was a thing. So I started blogging over on medium.com. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's basically, it's like Facebook, but it's all blog posts on there. And I just found such a solace over there, and it was therapeutic for me. When I was stressed out or I was in a high emotional state, I just wrote and, got everything off my mind, published it, done, 15, 20 minutes later, bang, problem solved, kind of like what we're doing now, but instead of video, it was through writing. And then one day I realized I had over 150 blog posts, and I said, why don't I throw them all together into 2 covers and call it a book? And that was book number 2 that came out last year, which is the Thought Bible. And then I recently wrote a book. It's a small little booklet, and it was inspired by Grant Cardone's Millionaire booklet.
Okay.
And the idea is it's a book of my life. So it's my story. And it basically was meant to serve as kind of a replacement to a business card, because I don't believe in business cards. I think everybody sticks them in their wallet, forgets about them, throws them out, and then you never see them again. So I'm like, if I give people a book, it'll be that much more memorable. And so that's kind of just sitting in the queue on Amazon right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to publish it or whatever, but that's kind of a cool little fun project that I did kind of more for myself. But that was the biggest thing when I wrote my first book. I read a book about writing, and it said you're always writing for the same person, and that's yourself. And at that point, everything else goes away, and it just becomes an enjoyable process.
I mean, writing a book gives you a lot of credibility. It
Absolutely.
shows, you've done something. And if you're in a position from, should I hire this guy or this person, that you might get hired because you wrote a book, because you really put everything on paper. And I was thinking about doing what I've done with all this video, and maybe even doing a book about my story, because everyone has a story. Everyone has something that has happened in their life that I'm sure will be entertaining.
I'd
learn from. Yeah, because there's
absolutely
a lot of things happening. I share a lot with my family, my daughter, what she's gone through, her journey. And now she's getting to the point during quarantine, she is starting to walking. And people are like, are you sure you want her to start walking now? Because you're home a lot more. And I'm like, this is fun. Like I caught a video of her this morning, taking a couple steps, balancing. It's a beautiful thing to watch it through a kid's eyes, like that first, oh my God, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it inspires me to do even more.
Yes. Yeah. I worked as a martial arts instructor for about 5 years, and I learned a lot from the little guys. I taught them 3.5 and up. And oftentimes the lessons that you learn from kids that were 3 and 4 years old were more impactful than the things that you learn from adults. And just for the same reason you said, some of them couldn't even talk yet, but just the way they interact with this planet and with life is something that we can all take notes on.
100%. Now, let's talk about those that are watching. Let's go down that path with investments. And what are some tips or tricks or strategies that you feel comfortable sharing with them?
Sure. So here's a really fun thing. So I recently started investing in the stock market, trading stock options. And the thing I actually bought it this morning is Facebook, because what are we on right now?
Right.
And it was funny, the other night I'm laying in bed and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, everybody that I know is doing these Zoom conferences. I would love to own Zoom. And then I'm like, wait a minute, Zoom is listed on the stock market. I wonder what their stock's doing. And it was a little late for Zoom at that point, but it was just funny because now it's like I recognize that I'm actually plugged into what's going on at this point, and I can actually take advantage of some of these different things, and it's ironic to me that as we're moving into seasonal spring, we're going into financial winter at the same time. It's kind of a little funny irony that happened there. But, so back in the end of 2018, early 2019, I had my own personal coronavirus, if you will, my own personal financial downturn where, things got bad. And I was completely flat broke, and I had tenants that were suing me and taking me to court. And, I was in business for myself. As an entrepreneur, it's like you're going to have times where things are great and times where things are not that great. And so, everything that could have went wrong in like a 3-month period. So I was, out on my back and didn't know what to do. And the one prevailing thought that I had through all of that was, this is the point where most people would quit. And I never wanted to be most people. And so because of that, I overcame it. And it's one of those ironic things where 3 months later, you look back at it and you're like, what the hell was I so worried about? And this is going to be the same exact thing. You know what I mean? Right now, while we're in the actual trenches, it sucks, and for some people, it sucks a lot worse than others. But we got to keep that focus at the end of the tunnel and realize that there is light there inside of all of this darkness. And, for those of us that are financially literate and investor savvy, we can take advantage of some of these times and make some money and keep ourselves afloat pretty well. Right. And really, here's all that happens is a lot of us, we have a plan for our life, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Me, I write it down in quarters. So every quarter of the year, first 3 months, I want to do this. Next 3 months, I want to do this, want to do this, want to do this. And then something like this comes around, and now we have to readjust all of those plans to contend with this, thing that's out of our control. And so, like yourself, you're adapting to it. And, a lot of us are, and a lot of us will find a way, like the stupid cliche in Jurassic Park, life will find a way.
Right. And I appreciate you sharing that story
Sure.
because a lot of people, have those downturns and they don't, think it's gonna, get better. But
Yep.
you faced adversity and you continued forward and staying positive,
Yeah.
no matter this, especially this time, staying positive. Yes, you might be out of work for a couple weeks. Don't take it as a vacation. Use this time to build up your skills so that when you go back to work, you're even more marketable and you might even find another job. You might even create another business that you can excel at when times change in the next
Sure.
couple of weeks, for
I
sure.
also think it's really amazing seeing a lot of like the push-up challenges on Instagram, and seeing the ways that in a time where in a sense we're forced to disconnect, we're finding a way to reconnect even in that adversity. And social media really affords us a fantastic opportunity to do something like that, because oftentimes I liken these events to like prohibition. And prohibition, what happened was the government tried to, I still can't get the directions right, the government tried to hold down energy. And energy is like electricity. It's going to spurt out and it's going to find these ways to come out in most of the time, pretty ugly ways, or very strong and aggressive ways. But because of social media, we haven't reacted that strongly yet. And look, if the quarantine lasts 6 months, I don't know what's going to happen at that
Right.
point. But I doubt it will. My personal opinion is I think 2 to 3 weeks things will be back to normal. But again, who knows? That's why we call this a time of uncertainty.
Right. Right. And it's a time right now. Stay home, enjoy your family, and if you don't
Yes.
like your family, you're gonna have to get over it. You're gonna learn the hard way.
I feel like
hope-
that's worse than losing your job.
Yeah.
Like if
'Cause
you got shitty people at home, it's like, I'd rather be back at work at this point.
I heard so, and I never thought about this. Like those that are thinking about getting divorced, now you're stuck
Yeah,
in a position now. And it's like, oh my God. Or maybe you were dating somebody else and now you can't even go
sure.
out. So it's a whole different world that
Yep.
we're in. And hopefully it gets better, soon for those type of people. But
Yeah,
take
yeah.
advantage of this
Baby
time.
boom in 9 months.
Yeah, it's
Calling
going to
it now.
happen for sure.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's something that you got to share and grow and work on your personal development. A lot of people, if you in December on New Year's Eve, if you said you wanted to be healthy, this is the time to pick up your health. If you wanted to start reading more books, start reading some more books.
Yeah.
Listen to some more videos to better some kind of trade or skill to have. That's the important thing.
Yeah,
I think you take advantage
kind
of.
interesting when you think of it in that sense. I've always thought in my head, like, what if electricity ceased to exist? Just some phenomenon happened and electricity ceased to exist. Then what? How would people react to that? And this is on a much smaller scale. This is a similar kind of global phenomenon. This is really one of the first times that I can recollect in history that a global change has happened. Oftentimes it's a country or it's a continent or it's an area of the world. This is the first time that it's like everywhere. And it's
literally
kind of interesting seeing how people are growing together and connecting together in spite of it.
100%. I appreciate having this time and utilizing and having a conversation with you. What are some final thoughts that you would share, Fred, for those that are watching us? Hashtag live if you're live, and hashtag replay if you're on the replay.
Oh man, one of my favorite quotes that I wrote in my first book. It goes like this: we don't always have control over what happens to us, but we can always control how we choose to respond to it. And so I think that if we live life that way and we maintain an optimism, even oftentimes in the scariest times, everything changes. Life is happening for us. It's not happening to us. And so when we can see that, it just makes everything that much more fun. That's why the second part of make money and have fun is have fun. I wake up. So here's something cool. Here's a fun hack for you guys. So on your cell phone, I actually set reminders that go off about every 2 hours throughout the day. And they're little inspirational kind of quirks. And the first one that happens 8 a.m. every morning is smile today. And I smile big every time I see that because there's 80 muscles in the human face. And for most of us, it's the most unemployed part of our whole body.
Yep.
And when you actually change your physiology like that, even laying in bed, you feel it throughout your whole body. You just feel like the electrical, circuits, firing inside your body. And, that's about as scientific as I can get. It changes your physiology. And at that point, your state for the rest of the day is now changed just by smiling. A lot of people try to do crazy things in the morning. I'm going to work out for 6 hours. I'm going to read 18 books, and I'm going to take a cold shower in Antarctica. Just sit up in bed and smile as big as you can. And if you do that, the whole rest of your day will change.
I don't know about you, but I know the value that was dropped today. If they didn't see anything the last couple minutes, they should replay and check out the beginning.
Definitely.
I appreciate you taking a lot of time today with us and sharing your trials and tribulations, and I know the nuggets of information will help others that are watching. And we just hope that you share, continue to share. If you're on us right now, share this live. We want to help as many people as possible. Friend request Fred. Fred, how are they going to contact with you if they want to have a conversation?
Oh, so many ways. Friend request me on Facebook. I'm wildly active on Facebook. Send me a message. I'll definitely respond to it unless it's some spammy thing. Don't send me any spam. Jump on a 30-minute phone call with me. We can talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of investing if you want. Whatever you guys want, you pick the topic and we'll chat about it. I'm always accessible as a friend, and I'm always sharing some new knowledge.
Likewise. Fred, I appreciate you as a friend, as a business, confidant. We'll definitely continue growing our businesses. Absolutely. And we'll bump on our way out today and making sure that you stay safe, and we'll definitely get together soon and when this all blows over. So have yourself an awesome rest of your day.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sean. This was great. I love it.
All right, Fred. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, man.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Guys, there you have it. We had our live number 15 on the year. If you're interested in getting involved with doing a live with me in the near future, please go to the website connectionmachine.biz, schedule it. Let's make it happen. And if you guys continue to develop yourself personally and also grow some skills so you can take your business to the next level, do more video. Guys, I hope you have an awesome day.